What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the French AMX30, both the regular Tech 3 version as well as the premium version. I thought the AMX30 was one of those more overlooked vehicles as far as the players go. The autoloader mechanic made vehicles like the Lorraine 40T and the AMX50 Surbase really strong in the early days of the French tank Tech 3. Meanwhile, the AMX30, it felt like an ordinary tank and wasn't really worth getting too excited over. Frankly, I wish I felt kind of differently, but I really didn't. This was kind of an average tank. But the more I played it, the more it kind of grew on me. The stock mobility on the AMX30 is actually quite impressive. It's competitive at its BR, and when you factor in the fact that it has a stock heat shell, and it's also the best shell, it makes the AMX30 really good right out of the gate. It's really competitive. You don't have to research 3 different ammo shells in order to get something that's really good. Arguably, the biggest weakness on the AMX30 is its armor. Unlike something like the Soviet T-54, the AMX30 features really weak armor, both the turret as well as the hull. And then when you take a look at the X-ray of the turret, you'll realize that it has an enormous ammo rack on the back of the turret to go along with one that's in the front of the hull on the left or right, depending on how you look at it. So you're going to have to play the MX30 kind of cautiously, because one shot to the turret and you're toast. Now, as much as I like the MX30's gun, I find its ammunition to be the most frustrating part. The heat shell itself is really good. It has really good penetration. It has good post-penetration damage. But with the mobility of the AMX30, when you get around the side of a tank, I can't help but feel that I wish that I could reach for the APHE shell, like with the American M46, so that I could one-shot a tank in its side. So because you don't have the APHE shell as an option, you're going to have to use heat, and kind of like using a Leopard, it's going to take anywhere from 2 to 4 shots, typically, to take out a tank. You're going to be playing whack-a-mole with crew members, you're going to be disabling gun breaches, and perhaps even getting the occasional ammo rack detonation. It's still a good tank, don't get me wrong. You know, don't let my bad talking about the ammunition deter you from researching the tank. Actually, the AMX30 is one of the biggest surprises to me personally in the French Tech 3. So much so that I ended up buying a talisman for it. Right now I have every single French tank researched, and a lot of it is because of the AMX30, as well as a couple of other vehicles that I put a talisman on, like the Lorraine 40T, which I mentioned earlier in the video. There's a lot of really good tanks in the French Tech 3. For the longest time I kind of wondered why anyone would buy the premium AMX30. I never really considered it until the end of 2018 when Gaijin started kind of taking shots at France. They not only introduced a number of battle rating changes, but repair costs soared, and I ended up pulling the trigger on the AMX30 premium pack when the pack went on sale for half price. My reasoning had nothing to do with research points. It was all about earning silver lions. Not only does the premium AMX30 get me more silver lions per action because it's a premium vehicle, it also has a significantly cheaper repair cost. Just take a look at the 2 stat cards on your screen. The one on the left is from the Tech 3 version of the AMX30, and the one on the right is from the premium version of the AMX30. Take a look at the repair costs. 20,741 versus 3,780. That's an insane difference. I can understand that sort of a difference existing if there was a big difference between the regular Tech 3 version and the premium version, but there really isn't. The Tech 3 version, the 1972 version, it gets a 20mm autocannon. It's nice, it's useful, I've shot down aircraft with it, but it's not worth that kind of a repair cost difference. It doesn't justify it, not even close. In the past, Gaijin has always justified low repair costs for premium vehicles by saying that inexperienced players are more likely to buy the premium versions of vehicles, and they don't want to discourage them from playing it by giving them high repair costs. And for the long time, I've always accepted that as a reasonable thing to do. I don't really have a problem with it. But you can't have two versions of a tank and there be such a dramatic difference in repair costs as there are with the two AMX30s. I don't expect the price difference to be nothing, you know, I don't expect them to be identical. But the difference to me should be reasonable, not ridiculous. The only thing keeping experienced players from buying the AMX30 premium pack and racking up millions and millions of silver lions because of the repair cost difference is the rather expensive cost of the vehicle. At $50, the AMX30 isn't cheap. Only the repair cost is. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, click that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care, guys.